Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome or welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today, we're making popcorn shrimp. Now, when I was a kid, I grew up eating this practically every time we went out to a restaurant. And so it was only right that I learned how to make it myself. This is a super easy to make and delicious meal that feeds plenty. So, let's get started. Alright, so to get this thing started, in a medium-sized bowl, we want to mix together 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of salt, ½ teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Mixing all these until they're well combined, and this creates our dry mix. Next up, in a separate bowl, we want to whisk 1 large egg with about 3 tablespoons of buttermilk until they're well combined, and this will create our egg mix portion of our batter. Now for this recipe, we're going to need about 12 ounces worth of medium-sized shrimp that have been peeled and deveined. We want to place all the shrimp onto a large paper towel and then pat them dry on both sides. Now here, you can either use another medium-sized bowl, but what I like to do is use a large Ziploc bag. But you want to place your shrimp into that container and add about 1/4 cup's worth of the dry mix you created earlier on, and toss the shrimp in this mix until they're all coated. Using a Ziploc bag allows you to easily shake the bag to make sure that all the shrimp are coated, so I like going with that option if you have a few extra Ziploc bags lying around. Now with that, we're ready to move on to coating each shrimp. So you want to first start by dipping the shrimp into the egg mixture, and then we want to dredge them in the remaining dry mix until they're fully coated. Then you can transfer that coated shrimp onto a plate for now. And during this coating process, this would be the perfect time to preheat a deep fryer or large pot of vegetable oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius. And when you're coating the shrimp, you can coat them in batches of about 5 to 6 shrimp at a time, depending on the size of your bowl. And I would recommend wearing some powder-free nitrile gloves for this process. It'll help clean up be much easier. As the batter tends to stick to your fingers, I would also make one hand designated for the dry ingredients and the other hand for the wet. Now that all the shrimp have been coated and the oil has reached temperature, you want to fry the shrimp in batches of about 8 to 10 for roughly 2 to 3 minutes, tossing them intermittently in the oil until they're golden brown on all sides. Once they are, you want to remove the shrimp from the oil and place them on a paper towel lined plate to absorb any excess oil. And then we just want to repeat this with the remaining amount of shrimp. And with using 12 ounces worth of shrimp at this size, you can create about 40 popcorn shrimp with this recipe. And for final touches, we're going to take a small handful of fresh parsley and chop that up into tiny bits, and we're going to sprinkle that on to the popcorn shrimp, as well as a small dash or 2 of salt. With those final touches, these popcorn shrimp are ready to be served and enjoyed. And just like that, you've made popcorn shrimp right at home. Try using a variety of coatings to add some extra flavor and texture to the popcorn shrimp. You can use panko breadcrumbs, shredded coconut, or even crushed potato chips. And for serving these, I like setting up a dipping station with a variety of sauces to add some fun and customization to your popcorn shrimp. You can try spicy mayo, honey mustard, or a classic cocktail sauce. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 3, Upgrading Your Inner Chef. That's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. And feel free to click the pop-up on your screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make popcorn shrimp. And if you did, make sure you hit that like button for me. It really helps boost the channel and YouTube's algorithm by allowing more people to see this recipe. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Victor and welcome to Chef Vic Cuisine. It's my goal to release new recipes each and every week that you can make for yourself, your family, or your friends. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you click that subscribe button too. And sharing is caring, so if you enjoyed this recipe and think someone else will too, feel free to share this with all your family and friends. And stay tuned for next week where I try to make one of my favorite drinks to make for family and friends at a get-together. If you're a fan of gin, you're gonna really like this drink. Well, thank you all again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. You can always check out my recipes on my page now. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so let's see if they're right. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.